Hello folks, CJ here again with another tutorial on how to modify and create your own enemies and abilities inside of the Wildland editor. Today we'll be talking about specifically how to create your own new abilities, new bullet definitions for those abilities, and then also how to get those abilities playing with inside the game. We'll be doing this by taking a look at one of the introductory bosses that you will usually get in the game called the Destroyer. So yeah, let's take a look at that now. First, what you're going to want to do is hit the C button, and then from there, hit the drop down menu and then go to Colossus. I know it says Colossus, but you'll notice up here that it is Destructor. So it should be the Destructor boss. What we're going to want to do is hit apply to make sure that this boss is showing up correctly as expected. Let's head on over. And yes, as you can see here, we are now fighting the Destructor boss. So next, what we're going to want to do is hit C. And you'll see a lot of information here. You've seen some of this stuff before in past videos where we kind of touched on the abilities in the bullet definition systems. But what I want us to start off doing is going down to where it says script_colossus_monster. And if we keep scrolling down, you'll start seeing things called functions, which are called, well, you'll start seeing functions. And the one that we want to be looking for is the usability at position function. So this is basically the script telling the boss when to do these abilities. And what we're going to start off doing is putting in something called logs so that we can see when these abilities are being called on our Destroyer, and then start replacing some of these abilities with our own. So what we'll start with is hitting enter and then hitting log, or typing in log I should say. And what's important about this is you want to make sure that you have the quotations in here for anything that you type. So for this one, since we are under the usability at position Colossus Slam, we're going to want to have Colossus Slam be what we write in here and make sure to end it with quotations. And then we're going to just do that for all of the places where we see usability at position. And this again, so that we can see where these are being called in the game, and it'll make a lot more sense once we're actually back fighting the Destroyer. So you're going to type in log here as well. And we're going to type Colossus Explosion. End with the quotations, end with the circle. Then we're going to also go over to usability at target instead of usability at position. Anywhere it says the usability kind of beginning of the function, though, we do want to call out. So here we can see it's the Colossus shoot. There, and then finally Colossus spin log. Make sure to get that quotation in there. All right, then we're going to hit apply. This should make sure that all of our changes are going to show. And when you get back into the game, because we're going to be wanting to watch and pay attention to the boss for a little bit, let's make sure that we have our invulnerability turned on. So that is again /TOGGLEINVULN. Awesome. All right, and what we're going to want to be looking at is two things. We're going to be wanting to look at this space right here, which is where our log messages are going to show up. Again, it'll probably make a little bit more sense in a second. And then make sure to be looking at the boss to kind of like track when each of these things happen. So we have the Destructor. This first attack, we can see it's the Colossus shoot. That radial kind of like circle attacks is the Colossus spin. And the Colossus slam, as you can see, is a lot of these slamming animations that kind of create these little circle pools that fill up over time and then kind of release more bullets, and then once it actually releases bullets, it's actually doing the Colossus explosion. So that's awesome. What we're going to want to do is remove or stop a bunch of these abilities from playing right now, and then just focus on getting one of our abilities to play as we kind of try to create our own. So we're going to go back and press C. And now let's head down to the items down here. So we're just going to take out usability for right now. Actually, what you can do is hit 2 of the slashes, and that'll just comment out that stuff. That way, if you want to bring it back in and you want to have it already set up, we can do that. But for right now, let's go in, and I think that we're going to use the Colossus shoot where that space is, and then just make our things there. We'll also probably want to remove these logs as well. I think that we're going to want to remove this do slam as well for the moment. Let's get that out of here. Also get rid of that. And then, well, actually, so we won't get rid of the Colossus shoot usability. We will get rid of the log here. And then we'll comment out this and get rid of the log for Colossus spin. So if this is working as expected, we should only be getting those little arcs that happen with the Colossus shoot. Let's go back and make sure that that's working as expected. It is not, so I did something wrong. So 1 second. Oh, I think this is it. I think I left a letter. Gotta look out for stuff like that. Could be one random thing in your code. We all make that mistake every now and again. Alright. This should be working as expected now. So yeah, we still have those 2 radials coming at us, which is what we want. We want to be kind of utilizing the ability happening in that one. I chose this one because it happens often, especially at the beginning of the fight. So let's go back and let's start creating our own new ability and our own new bullet definition for that ability. So what we'll do, we can just start right at the top here, press enter, then hit the dash 3 times, type in ability, underscore, and then for this, I'm just going to, you can name this whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to name it new ability just for the sake of this tutorial. So yeah, let's do new ability and then do 3 more dashes. So after we're done doing that, we're going to type in bullet definition. So this is what connects the ability to the actual definition of the bullet and the way that all those projectiles will be working. Again, you'll see this all working in just a bit. You're going to have 2 colons right here, or I think those are semicolons. I don't remember which is which. And then this is where you would put in the bullet definition name. So for right now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to create the bullet definition just so that we have something holding it, and then go back to finishing out the rest of the new ability. So here you can just type in dash 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 again. Then you're going to type in bullet DEF for definition, underscore, and again I'm just going to type in new ability, no spaces, and then dash dash dash, so that we have that reference. And then here you're going to do 2 brackets and then type in new ability and then 2 close brackets there. Next, there's a bunch of things that you kind of add into the space. We're going to be keeping it super simple right now by just adding the lock time and the cast time. So if you don't remember from a previous video, the lock time is the time an enemy is locked in place before casting, and then the casting time is the duration of the actual casting animation. So for this one, we want it to be happening pretty fast. So I'm going to put the lock time, and that is lock time spelled with capital L, capital T, space, two of those semicolons, I think that they are. And then since we wanted to be happening super fast, let's do 0.25. And then for cast time, let's also have that happening pretty fast. So let's type in cast time, similar, having caps at the beginning, and then 0.25. So we're almost done with setting up like the basic structure of this. Now we need to actually add in things for our bullet definition. So let's head down to our matching bullet definition and type in fire 10 for 10 speed, and then we're going to have relative 0 to make sure that it's shooting at the player. And we're almost done here. What we're going to want to do now is go all the way back down to that usability at position that we left open for Colossus shoot, and instead type in new ability, and this has to match basically what we have written right here. Oop, 1 second, let me scroll back up. We need to, wow, that needs to stop happening. There we go. We need to have exactly what we have typed here after we have ability in its underscore. So here we see it's capital N E W space capital A B I L I T Y for new ability. So if all of that is set up correctly, we should see those we should see those arc projectile patterns disappear, and now we should be seeing one single bullet being targeted at the player. And let's see if that's working. All right, let's see. And yes, we no longer see those arcs projectiles, but we do see this single bullets being shot at us. But that's a little bit boring. It's cool to have that in there, but what I think that we should do is try to make this a little bit more complex of a bullet definition. So what I'm going to do is go to the Wildland editor, and then I'm going to go to bullet definition reference. So here you'll kind of see the bullet that we've made so far, where it's like firing a bullet. 5 is the speed. We've talked about this before as far as the direction type. It can be absolute. So this is the direction that no matter what, you want this projectile to go up, down, left, right, no matter where the player is. You can put absolute and then an angle there. For ours, we have obviously done relative 0, which is just a firing directly at the player. But we're going to want to do, let's scroll down a little bit to here. And I think it'd be fun to try to utilize some of these, some of these shortcuts that we have here. We'll be talking about radial, in-way, and line, which all create different sort of bullet patterns. It's just straight from the get using different little parts of its definition. Again, it will make a lot more sense by me showing you than talking about it, so let me show you. So if we go down here, we're going to copy this where it says radial bullets 36 and speed 5. So what this is basically going to do is create a circle of bullets, a radial of bullets, as some would say. It will create 36 of these bullets, and they will be going at a speed of 5. So what you're going to want to do is go back to that bullet definition underscore new ability, and replace the previous code with this copy and pasted code from the bullet definition reference. All right, and then you're going to hit apply. And now, instead of seeing that singular bullet being fired at us, we should see a circle of those bullets happening now. All right, let's see if it's working. And yes, now you can see, instead of that singular bullet, Destructor is sending out this nice little circle projectile. Cool. What I'm going to do next is let's go back to this bullet definition underscore new ability. Let's keep that on our radar and then go back to bullet definition reference. Next, we're going to add the in-way bullets. This is going to create an arc of bullets instead of a circle of them. So if we copy and paste this, we can take a look at this. And what we're going to do is start combining these bullet definitions and setups on top of each other to make a more complex ability. So we're going to actually leave the radial bullets 36, speed 5. We're going to leave that there and then type in this. So this will be creating an arc of 10 bullets in a spread of about 90 degrees, a speed of 5. Our direction is absolute. And then it is going to be going at an angle of 180, which should, I believe, going to the right of the boss. Again, because the direction type is absolute instead of something like relative, it will not be taking into account where the player is, but instead be shooting them in a specific direction from the boss. All right, let's take a look at that now. Let's hit apply. Cool. Now let's head back on over. And you can kind of see these a little bit. These are actually going down, not to the right. That was my mistake. But they're kind of getting caught up a little bit. It's hard to see them. You can only kind of notice them because some of those bullets are brighter than they were before. So yeah, you can kind of see them clipped up and a little bit brighter there, but that's not really creating that much difficulty from the player. It's just allowing them to dodge those similarly to how they were before. So we're going to be using something called the wait command, so you can see what happens, so that we can actually add a little bit of time in between these bullet patterns, but still have them be in the same ability. So let's hit C again. And then in between where we have radial bullets, 36, speed 5, and our in-way bullets, let's hit enter and then type in wait and 4. So this means 4 frames. Each frame is approximately half a second. So this should have the boss wait about 2 seconds before actually spawning the other arc of bullets. So let's take a look at that now. I'm gonna hit apply. All right, and let's head on over. And now we should see a little bit of time in between these bullet patterns. So you can see it waits about 2 seconds. And sends those off. So let's make this a little bit more interesting. 4 still seems a little bit fast for me. So instead I'm going to put 6 just to lengthen that out a little bit. And I'm also going to copy this bullet pattern here. And instead of the angle being at 180, it's going to be at 0, so that these are happening in the opposite directions. Happening in the opposite directions, but you get 2 bullet patterns now. And in total, it'll be 3 because of the radial. All right, and now you can see, ooh, look at this little pattern we're making. All right, this is starting to get a little bit interesting. So the last thing that we're going to look at today is the line command. So this is going to do probably what you would expect it to do. It's going to send things out in a line. So here we have line, bullets, that'll send out 10 bullets at a speed of 5, at an angle of 270. So this should be to the left of the boss, with a speed change of 0.5, meaning that speed will change over time as these bullets are like going away from the boss. So let's hit apply. All right, and let's go on over. And now you can see, oh, they're shooting off to the left, and you can see them getting faster over time. If you wanted to have a little bit more fun with this, you could copy this again. And then instead of having it at 270 at an angle, have it at 90 degrees. Hit apply. All right, and now you can see the two lines coming from the left and right side, the overall radial circle pattern, and then the two arcs going up and down. And these are all, again, based off of the different angles and direction types that we have put into the ability. So that's all I'm going to talk about for today for the most part of creating your own stuff. What my recommendations would be go to the Wildland editor and then go to bullet definition examples and just go in and copy stuff. So you can copy all of this just to see what the Devastator explosion is like. Go to your new ability. If you want, you can just have a whole new ability here, a whole new definition for that bullet definition. Hit apply. And then let's see what that looks like. So that's just an explosion that they have happening there. And that is from the Devastator enemy. But you can go to another one and do something like, I don't know, what's a fun one to do? Rocket launcher. Copy that, bring this over, and then go to your bullet definition, and then make sure you highlight everything, paste it, hit apply, go into your battle, and let's see what this one does. It creates a full rocket launcher that is quite potent. And yeah, I would just go look at a bunch of different bullet definition examples, have the example in there, change some of the information here. So what happens when you change something from the radius from 2.5 to 5 or 10? What happens when you change the damage from damage every from 2 to 4? Play around with the potency. Just play around and see what you would like to do, see what has already kind of been made, and then just build off of those things. And then soon enough, you'll be making your very own boss. All right. Appreciate you all watching. Thanks so much, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye, y'all.